Week 18 of the fantasy baseball season, and here's a few pitchers I look to drop this week. The first guy, Martin Perez of the Texas Rangers. So Martin Perez, he got off to a decent start early in the year, but he's really struggled, and now we know the Rangers at the trade deadline, they went out there and made a few deals getting Max Scherzer and Jordan Montgomery. So now Martin Perez with the struggles and demoted to the bullpen. Obviously, he's not going to have any fantasy value on the season. 109 and a third, 8-4 record, 70 Ks, a 4.94 ERA, a 1.52 WHIP, and 8 quality starts. But the last month of the season before he went to the bullpen, 17 2/3, 1-1 record, 10 Ks, a 5.60 ERA, 1.70 WHIP. So right now he's not going out there. He wasn't getting the job done. And the Rangers, they really feel like they have a chance this season to obviously go all the way and possibly win the World Series. And right now, Martin Perez, they demoted him into the bullpen. He was batting practice the last few outings. He went out there and pitched. And they upgraded the rotation, obviously, with Scherzer and Jordan Montgomery, who are better pitchers than Martin Perez. So the last few games for him before he went to the bullpen, July 16th versus the Guardians, 5 innings, no decision, 5 hits, 3 runs, 4 walks, 2 Ks. July 23rd versus the Dodgers, 6 innings, got the win. 6 hits, 4 runs, 2 walks, 6 Ks. And July 29th at the Padres, 5 2/3, got the loss. 9 hits, 4 runs, 3 walks, a K. So right now, he wasn't performing. And this week here, he's an easy drop with all the guys they've added with the trades they made at the deadline, like I said. And him just being to the bullpen, and if he's not going to be the closer, which he's not, obviously, he's an easy pitcher to get away from this week. The next pitcher, Domingo Germán of the New York Yankees. So Germán came obviously early in the season, but now his season is over, going on the restricted list here after alcohol abuse and doing some things in the clubhouse, obviously, that the Yankees weren't fans of. So on the season, 108 2/3 he finishes with. 5-7 record, 114 Ks, a 4.56 ERA, 1.08 WHIP, and 6 quality starts. So Germán, a lot of upside, obviously. We know what he's capable of with the perfect game, even though it was versus the Oakland Athletics. But now, even in keeper and dynasty leagues, there's no reason to keep on to him. The season wasn't all that great for him. He was a hit-or-miss, 500 type of pitcher was Germán. And now, obviously, that he's going on the restricted list and he's going away for a little bit here to get the help he needs, there's no reason to hold on to Germán. So the season ends for him. Clarke Schmidt will stay in the rotation for this team here with Hector Cortez back. So right now, at least the Yankees had a good replacement for Germán, and Cortez coming back off the injury list. But right now, obviously, he's not a pitcher I would hold on to, and we'll see next season if he's even on this Yankee team. And he's a pitcher I would drop this week. The next pitcher, Michael Kopech of the Chicago White Sox. So Kopech last season was ERA, and he was a solid pitcher, but this year he's taken a step back. Is Michael Kopech. I know last season the wins weren't there, only 5-9, but this year pretty much the same old, and the ERA's up almost a point per game. So on the season, 107 2/3, 5-10 record, 112 Ks, 4.43 ERA, a 1.43 WHIP, and 5 quality starts. But the last month he's been batting practice is Kopech, 21 2/3, 2-3 record, 15 Ks, 5.82 ERA, a 1.71 WHIP. So he hasn't gone out there. He really hasn't pitched well. We know this White Sox team is goated. They traded everyone that had solid value at the Major League trade deadline, and it's going to be tough for him to get wins. And it's even tough for him to go deep into ball games and get quality starts this season as well. So right now, I don't really think he's a pitcher that fantasy owners should hold on to. And like I said, he's not going to get the run support. He's on a bad Chicago White Sox team this season. And for the most part, we haven't seen much out of him. The last few outings, July 25th versus the Cubs, 5 innings, got the loss. 9 hits, 4 runs, a walk, 5 Ks. July 30th versus the Guardians, 5 innings, got the loss. 4 hits, 3 runs, 5 walks, 2 Ks. And August 5th at the Guardians, 5 1/3, got the win. 3 hits, 2 runs, 4 walks, 3 Ks. The control's definitely been an issue with 10 walks in the last 3 outings here for Kopech. And like I said, he's not pitching the baseball well. And he's got a tough matchup coming up later on in the week versus the Brewers August 11th. So right now, he's not really a pitcher I could trust. And he don't have really an offense backing him over there in Chicago. So he's an easy pitcher to drop this week. The next pitcher, Taj Bradley of the Tampa Bay Rays. So Taj Bradley in his second stint in the major leagues this season. It just wasn't good. He started off decent. And in the last 4 or 5 outings, they were hitting him hard with teams. On the season, 74 2/3, 5-7 record, 99 Ks, 5.67 ERA, a 1.41 WHIP, and a quality start. So we know he got sent down to the minor leagues as Bradley last week. And right here, this Tampa Bay team, they trade for Aaron Savale. Zach Little's come out of nowhere, has entered the rotation and look good. And right now, I don't think Bradley will be up for the remainder of the season, unfortunately. And he's not a guy you really should hold on. He was promising, like I said, earlier in the season, in the first stint. And then they sent him down and then brought him back up now. And he wasn't good in the second round trip. I think next season in fantasy drafts, he's definitely going to be in the rotation, is Taj Bradley. He just got to work out the kinks over there in the minor leagues. So the last few outings, July 18th at the Rangers, 5 innings, got the loss. 5 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, 9 Ks. July 23rd versus Baltimore, 5 innings, no decision. 5 hits, 3 runs, a walk, 6 Ks. And July 29th at the Astros, 3 1/3, got the loss. 3 hits, 5 runs, 4 walks, 4 Ks. So another player with pretty bad control issues was Bradley, where in the last 3 outings he did have a decent amount of walks, was Bradley, with 7 walks in the outing. The K rate, though, obviously is great. He's going to be a high strikeout pitcher, but control and obviously keeping the ball in the ballpark has been the problem for him. But like I said, next season I expect him to be up in the major leagues. Unless the Rays get another injury or 2 in the rotation, then they'll have no choice but to call Bradley up. But I think next season he's definitely a sleeper going into fantasy leagues. But this year he's not really going to help fantasy owners, and he's a pitcher I would drop this week. And the 5th and final pitcher I look to drop here, we're staying in the same divisions, Tyler Wells of the Baltimore Orioles. So Tyler Wells, he had a pretty decent run for a little bit in the middle of the season here, but now he got sent down to the minors as well, with Jack Flaherty getting traded to Baltimore at the deadline and taking one of the rotation spots on the season. For Wells, 113 2/3, 7-6 record, 111 Ks, 3.80 ERA, a 1.02 whip, and 8 quality starts. So Tyler Wells, he was going out there for the majority of the season, like I said, and pitching well, but last month did him in 15 innings, 1-2 record, 12 Ks, a 7.80 ERA, a 1.80 whip, and a quality start. So obviously those numbers aren't great. He wasn't going deep into ball games. He only went 4 innings once or more in the last 3 outings before they sent him down to the minor leagues. So Tyler Wells, he definitely could be back later in the season. Another guy, he'll be the next man up, even though they want to keep his innings now on a limit over here, is this Baltimore Oriole team. Even though last season he only pitched 103 as well. So right now, I think it's an innings limit type of thing. They wanted more of obviously a veteran type of pitcher, and they got that with Jack Flaherty as this Baltimore team. So the last few outings before he got sent down here as well. July 18th versus the Dodgers, only 2 innings, got the loss. 6 hits, 5 runs, 2 walks, 2 Ks. July 23rd at Tampa, 4 1/3. A hit, 3 runs, 4 walks, 5 Ks. And July 29th versus the Yankees, 2 2/3 in that one. 3 hits, 3 runs, 3 walks, and a K. So walks, they've been an issue for these younger pitchers, obviously. I said it with Taj Bradley, Michael Kopech, I said it with, and now here with Tyler Wells in the last 3 outings before he got sent down. 9 walks in 3 ball games. Obviously the control was an issue. Teams were working the count, then getting the pitches they wanted to hit, and taking advantage of it. So right now they're gonna sent them down to the minors. They want him to work on some things, and he's another work in progress, but also another sleeper, like I mentioned Bradley early in the video, for next season. But right now, while he's in the minor leagues, and if there's an injury or 2, he could be back in the majors. There's no reason right now to hold on and stash him. So that's a few pitches I look to drop here in week 18 of the fantasy baseball season.